Hello, it is March 16th, 2026, and today is the 26th day of Lent. Today is Sunday. I got up this morning my alarm went off at 6:10, got up, and I was meditating by 6:30 and did my hour, and it was good. I dropped in pretty immediately. I definitely had one thing that I did in my thought world was I recited part of Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass, because next Saturday there's a parlor event at Boston Avenue Church that Truson asked me to be one of the people that is kind of more featured during the soapbox parlor portion, and I have like 5 to 7 minutes to perform, and I'm going to do an excerpt of Leaves of Grass, and just said that in my head. I looked at the timer about 12 minutes before it was done, because I peeked and my screen was black, and that made me think something was off. So then I tapped the screen, but dropped back in for that 12 minutes, and then left and went to the church. And Ziggy, lights on. There we go. And then I went up to the church and I journaled while the band was rehearsing, and then had the 2 services. Services were good today, and I also feel like I was very present today, just there, and everybody I talked to, I was able to just kind of be there. And also I got tapped for communion, to serve communion. I've never done that before. So that was a privilege and a new experience, to serve the juice and the blood. I've never been on that side of it. I have received communion hundreds of times in this context, and I've never been what we would call that, the givers, never been on that side, so that was nice. And then after church, I, as quickly as possible, made it to Mercury Lounge for Bluegrass Brunch. And because, I don't remember if I mentioned this last week, but Bluegrass Brunch has been something that I've been going to for the last 2 years, and it is at Mercury Lounge in Tulsa, and Johnny Molinex and band, they play every Sunday they're in town, and it's called Johnny Molinex's Bluegrass Brunch. It's not really bluegrass. It's not really bluegrass, and there is no brunch, is what one of their shirts say, because that's true. They do not serve food. They do have a Bloody Mary bar. So if you count the pickled okra and things as brunch, then there you have it. And it's also not really bluegrass, although it's bluegrass adjacent. But I've been going to that for the last couple of years, and that is I love the community that has formed there around that, and then also just the like, I love to dance, and that is one of my favorite ways to exercise is to dance. But most of the time, the opportunity to dance to live music or a DJ only comes after 8 p.m., and that's at the earliest. So to be able to dance from 1 to 3:30 on a Sunday afternoon in the sun with the patio doors open, that's a treat that I love. So that's been a tradition, but Johnny and band have made a name for themselves through Bluegrass Brunch, and because of the following that they have of all of us showing up every Sunday, they've been able to leverage that into touring, which is awesome. And so when they're in town, Bluegrass Brunch is popping, and when they're not in town, it's less than popping, and sometimes dead, which sucks because I wish that people were just Bluegrass Brunch loyalist and not specifically Johnny loyalist, but I also understand. And anyways, I'm telling the story because they got an article published about them in Rolling Stone magazine, and since that has been published, Bluegrass Brunch went from being a $10 suggested donation event to a $20 ticketed event that they sell tickets for it the night before. It sells out, and there is a large crowd of people who line up at the door who have never been to a Bluegrass Brunch. It basically feels like all of us regulars that have been doing this for 2 years are being gentrified out of our own thing. And it isn't unfortunate overall for Mercury Lounge or Johnny, because I want them both to succeed, and I want them to have, I want this press and notoriety for them. But also, sucks whenever I show up to this thing that I've been doing every week for 2 years, and there's a massive line, and I can't skip the line, and yeah. So I haven't gone in actually the last few weeks because I'm not going to stay in line. It can be, but this morning or today, I had talked to Big Fish, who is the Mercury Lounge bouncer and front man. I talked to him the other day, and he said that he would hold me my ticket, because if you don't show up by 1, you forfeit your ticket, and I can't basically I have to rush out of the church to be able to make it by 1. And he said he would hold my ticket for me, and so I made it there basically right at 1, but there wasn't a line because it's spring break, and it is also cold and very, very windy today. It is so windy, in fact, that a little over an hour and a half into them playing, the whole neighborhood lost power because the wind knocked it out somewhere. So, power went out, and they closed Mercury Lounge and told everybody to go home. But my friends Monica and Cooper were already walking towards Mercury Lounge just to say hello to me and Ryan Cass, who's in town for a few days, which is awesome. And so I just walked the trail, met up with them, and then we walked back to their car and just chatted and had a nice little walk. And then they drove me back to my car. I drove here, and then just now I recorded tomorrow's episode of Poets and Saints podcast, because since I was in Enid Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I did not record this week's episodes, and I was way too tired to do it yesterday. And if you don't believe me, watch yesterday's video journal and you'll see how tired I was. I did not have the energy to be in that moment. I have more energy today, but I don't. I just recorded the one episode, edited it, edited. That sounds weird. Edited it, and got it scheduled on YouTube, and Acast is what I use to upload the audio. So I got that going for tomorrow, and then tomorrow morning I'll wake up and record the rest of the episodes and get those edited and uploaded. I've also got the next, what is it? I already have the next 15. Yeah, I have the next 15 episodes already written and ready to go. So tomorrow I may go ahead and just record 9 episodes, the 4 left for this week and the 5 for the next week. Because that's one thing that's the reason I got them all written up, is I would like to get ahead, even like more than just 1 week ahead, and maybe like for a few weeks record and edit 5 episodes on Friday, 5 episodes on Saturday, until I'm like, months out. I think that would be nice to go ahead and get that done. And then as soon as I got that uploaded, I started recording this. And then after I'm done with this, I'm going to eat, and I'm going to transfer the hour-long tape that I recorded on this from. I basically filmed my birthday celebration week, all of everything I did on Wednesday, my birthday, and then going to Enid on Thursday, Enid on Friday, and the micro wrestling on Friday night. And that's where the tape ends. Is I timed it out, or got lucky, timed it out perfectly, where I was just capturing little clips, and the micro wrestling was the last thing that I did, and they had the last fight and the last 15, 20, 10 seconds or whatever of the tape. The last championship wrestling match, it ends, and a new champion is belted, and then I pan down to one of the workers' shirts that says, I support micro wrestling, or I support micro violence. And so it's like, boom, big move, the win, crowd cheers, pan down to I support micro violence, and then the tape ends. Perfect timing. It's the little things whenever you're an artist, my type, whatever I am. That's the little wins for me, is just getting those perfectly timed clips or shot, be in the right moment at the right time, ready, and capture it either on photo or video. And then after I eat and transfer that, I'm going to sit down and watch the Shanghai Formula One race from last night. It's, since they were in Shanghai, I think it was at 1:30 my time, 1:30 in the morning my time. we'll see how long I stay interested in Formula One, but it's what I'm interested in at this particular moment. I definitely have a history of special interest. A couple of years ago, it was UFC. Got super obsessed with watching UFC. I watched like basically every YouTube video, every fight that was on YouTube, and um, a bunch of other things, but now don't watch it at all. I mean, if I was like, I would like to watch it, if there's a fight on and I'm, at a sports bar or something, that definitely keeps my interest and I enjoy it. But the obsession level of it uh, came and went. So I know myself enough to know that Formula One probably will come and go as well, but it's fun to be into it right now while I'm into it. There's a lot of things in my life that, it's like they became a special interest and then went away. But then a lot of things like kind of cycle back through where it's like an intense season of consume, 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 like just learn absolutely everything. And then it goes away. But then, maybe like the next year or like like one thing that is coming to mind is vinyl records. It's like uh, I'll go through these little spurts of season where uh, I will be I'll collect like I'll be into collecting metal records. Was the most recent one. Right before that, ambient records, and ambient and has been a through line. It's like I have a special interest in like having a niche collection of ambient records and metal records, and not just like collecting everything that it's like I really like. I like Harry Styles, but I don't have any Harry Styles records. Not that I wouldn't want them, but it's like I don't necessarily need, or I'm not trying to collect the records of like all the music that I listen to. I'm like into collecting a very niche part of my musical interest, and uh, one of my niche interests is ambient. So I want to keep collecting ambient records, and then also metal records, also metal in general. Just thinking about special interests of like I went through a heavy metal phase in 2025 where my music, the music that I listened to, uh, came back to metal, hard like metalcore, hardcore, doomcore, uh, that type, and that's something that's been a through line since I was a teenager, where I was really into it. I mean, I was in hardcore bands and was really into that music. My later teen years, and then stopped listening to it, got into other things, for years at a time. Wouldn't listen to metal, and then I would like get nostalgic and listen to the stuff that I listened to in high school, and then stop listening to it, come back to the stuff I listened to in high school, and then this and then like occasionally I would find something new. But then in the last couple years, I like made the conscious decision of like, I want to find some new metal that excites me the way that the metal that I listened to in high school does and did. And I don't remember the order of events, like chicken or egg situation, of finding Knocked Loose. If it was because I made that decision that I found Knocked Loose, or if I somehow found Knocked Loose and then that got me, like, that excited me and got me back into it. But yeah, I don't remember. I might have been like going and listening to some of the things I listened to in high school, and then because of that, Knocked Loose came up, and then it was like, oh my gosh, this is what I love about this genre of music. Also, Better Lovers, that was another one. Better Lovers and Knocked Loose, both really excited me about new hardcore music. And then just kind of over the last 2 years, but then in 2025 specifically, got really obsessed, where like that was essentially all I listened to. Ended up going to Furnace Fest in Birmingham, Alabama, my first solo music festival. Had a lot of fun, and I would love to go back this year. But also, just saying within that, I didn't own any metal records up until 2025, and now I have at least 10. No, I think I have 12. And I bought some at the festival, and bought one at just like, because I also think that records are a good souvenir. Same with books, of like, if I go to, go visit a city, I think going to a bookstore in that city and buying a book as a souvenir, I really like that. Also, if I go to a concert, instead of buying a t-shirt or whatever, buying the vinyl, because the vinyl has longer staying power than a t-shirt does. And so if I want to remember it and have an artifact of that moment, then I'll buy the vinyl. Anyways, that to say, my special interest in collecting vinyl. One, I have interest within that interest, and then also I cycle through where I'll go a long time, months and months and months and months, maybe even years, where I don't care to buy a vinyl record, don't even think about it, and then it'll come back through, and I'll be on eBay looking at stuff, and I'll drive to record stores and go look at records, and I'll spend maybe like over the course of that season, whether it's a couple weeks or a month or whatever, I spend a couple $100 getting some new records, and then I won't think about it again for a while. I guess it kind of comes and goes with a new interest. Like, I got obsessed with it as I went deep into the metal phase, and just remembering that, like, man, I wish I had like vinyl records of my favorite bands from high school, like the Chariot. So then got on eBay and just started looking for the Chariot albums, and just trying to find these, like, my favorite albums from back then, and then starting to collect the albums of the new music I'm listening to. And then recently, I haven't been listening to a lot of metal, but I have been listening to more ambient, and classical jazz adjacent. And so I bought the record right here, Sophia Pomalt. It's French, and I don't actually know how to say it, but that is an awesome album. I was Sofiane Pomalt. Sofiane Pomar. That's probably really bad. But this is an album called Noche, and it's just a piano album, and it is a gorgeous, gorgeous piano album. And there's one track on here that features a saxophone player, and just put his piano and the sax together. So good. So anyways, got on eBay and bought that just because I wanted it in my collection, and I use them as decor and background for my whatever I'm doing here. Not just these journals, because I'm on part of doing these journals is I'm on the journey to starting to make videos again, and the video series that I'm about to work on is going to be vibe coding my personal archive, and so yeah, my personal archive is also another one of my special interests. That one is like, it's actually the same thing. It's like it's a long going but seasonal interest, where it's like for a few months a year, like I work on it heavily, and then partly is like I work through what I have to work through, and then once I've transferred the footage or scanned the photos, then I can't really be obsessed with them anymore because there's nothing more to do. But I also found out that my grandma has thousands of photos that she took, that she has pretty much organized by date. She said she has tubs and tubs, and my Aunt Treva has already taken the first one and has started to scan them. So I needed to check in with her and see how she's doing it, and if they're going to be properly metadated. Because if not, or basically properly organized and metadated, and because if not, then I am going to want to do it myself. But I'm sure, because I think she did ask what scanner I use, so I just need to check in with her and show her how I organize, so then maybe we can work together on that. But that's exciting because, there's going to be tons of photos that are from before I'm even alive, but also she'll have photos of me that I have never seen. So there's a big, the collection is yet to be complete, because I have all of my grandma's photos. Oh, also, I forgot to grab those. My grandma, Gail, said that they found some more of her videotapes, specifically my Aunt Tracy's videotapes. So I don't know how much of I will be in those, but definitely more for the archive that I need to get from them, and then also my Aunt Treva's tapes. So the archive will still grow, but that is all I have time for in this here journal of March 15th, 2026.